The newly appointed ActionSA chairperson in KwaZulu-Natal Musa Kubheka says he's subjected to death threats since taking over from Makhosi Khoza. Khoza was fired this week after she allegedly colluded with other members against party founder Herman Mashaba. Meanwhile, Kubheka says the intimidation has not deterred him from executing his duties, as Nkosikhona Duma reports.
It's been a little over 2 months since Musa Kubheka took over from Makhosi Khoza as the leader of ActionSA in KwaZulu-Natal and is already feeling the heat of being a politician in the province.
About 2 weeks ago, when we went to Pietermaritzburg, prior to that, I went to KwaNongoma to launch Zululand because our resolution as a Senate, we were given the instruction to go and create branches in the district, especially in KZN, because we only had 3 districts that were launched. It's Newcastle, KwaDukuza, and eThekwini. So I had the responsibility to go around and launch all these districts. So I went to Mkhanyakude and I posted on Facebook. I posted on WhatsApp so that people will know what is happening. I received a call from a private number telling me, hey, we can see what you're doing. Be careful when you go to places, don't post things because by doing so you're inviting attention and we will deal with you. Then after that, this person closed the phone. It was a private number. Then I spoke to one of the councillors in the Tegui and said, you know what, I received this call like this and that. I said no, because that particular person said to me, if you want to survive, get yourself bodyguards. So when I told my colleague in the council, he said no, they've been receiving calls as well, something like that, because there are people who want to make money. So I was not more interested about it, so I left it. Up until last week when we went to Pietermaritzburg to launch another district. When we came back from there, we received a message while I was driving with the spokesperson saying that we've seen you. You're taking people's position. Now we're going to deal with you. Can you imagine if your kids will grow up without a father? Can you imagine your wife being a widow?
The 42-year-old has vowed to continue with his political activities despite alleged threats on his life.
We receive threats, but at the end of the day, I don't want to pass or die without making any change, without putting any contribution in this beautiful country. South Africa is a beautiful country. South Africa has got beautiful people, but there is injustice in assisting them in enjoying this beautiful country. When you look at crime, when you look at all what is happening, it's unfair to the people of South Africa. So it's people like me and you who need to stand up and fight and fix what is destroyed.
Kubheka was relatively unknown before venturing into politics. He's a former eThekwini municipal official turned pastor, later a businessman, and more recently a politician. He says his political career is rooted in trade unionism.
I took a position to be a shop steward where I was part of SAMU, and they appointed me as a secretary for water and sanitation. Then because of this corruption and all these things that we were revealing, including the recruitment companies that were existing there, I started receiving threats, and I resigned, and I started committing myself in doing most of the community work with one of the churches in Durban.
Kubheka was initially ActionSA's mayoral candidate for eThekwini ahead of last year's local government elections. However, the party later chose Makhosi Khoza. Kubheka, originally from Stedville Township in Ladysmith, only has kind words for his predecessor despite her controversial exit from the party.
She's a great leader, very vocal, and she has taught me a lot of things when it comes to politics. Which is some of the things that makes me to be bold enough when I'm being appointed to this position, is knowing what to expect based on what I've seen through her leadership in KZN.
Kubheka is currently ActionSA's chief whip in the eThekwini Metro. He says, however, his main focus is growing the party in KwaZulu-Natal ahead of the 2024 local government elections. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I am Nkosikhona Duma in Durban.